All right. So today I will speak about Periphery, and I hope I will help you to clean your dead code into your project once for all. So I have just a question quickly. Who knows Periphery already? Yeah? Okay, and who has the Periphery already implemented in his project? It's not a lot. All right. Okay. I will just present at the beginning the objective of this technical sharing. So I hope with that you will never forget any more dead code in your project. And also, in addition, I will talk about Git hooks, so you will have a better understanding of the usage of the Git hooks, because I will show you how to integrate Periphery into Git hooks. So if you don't know what is Git hooks, I will just quickly explain about it. And also, I can suggest to you to have a look into a past presentation I have done in October, or no, before in September or November, about the Git hooks, because I have made something dedicated for that. But I will make a short introduction today also. And who am I? So I am Christopher, and I'm a lead developer iOS and Android at Shopmium, an application for cashback. And I create tech content on Medium. So if you don't follow me, you can do it, because this presentation is already present in my Medium. And I am passionate in tooling, automation, and productivity. And this is what I'm going to talk today. Periphery is about productivity. So I will talk about what is dead code, and why it's important to remove the dead code in your project. And after, I will present you Periphery at a glance, and how to integrate it. So what I call in 2 dimensions. So let's say the local level at the Git hooks, so just when you are committing locally in your project, and the second part on your CI, because it's not exactly the same way. And after, I will talk about the limitation and the drawbacks, because this is not a perfect tool, I would say, even if it's you should adopt it. But there are some limitations and drawbacks that you should be aware about. And I will, because of that, give you some tips and advice in order to mitigate or to take the full advantage of it. So first, what is a dead code? So according to you, is this a dead code? No, not at all. This is not a dead code. This is just comments, right? So what is dead code? A dead code is the written code, but not unused. Not used, but unused, yeah, not used. So it could be just a class that we implement, but we never instantiate, because, for example, we remove a lot of code, but we forget to remove the class, the master class, let's say. It could be also just a dead protocol, right? It was the same for the same reasons. One day we work on something, and after we forgot to remove the protocol that was on another file. It could be just an unused function or extension, just a property, something just inside the class, but just, for example, get or set, just a set but never get. And it could be also unused code generated from macro, etc. And just to let you know that Swift or his code can detect unused local variable, but it's not enough, and it's just that. So, for example, a dead class, what I could say, dead class, you will not saying that oh, this class is not used. So why it's important to remove dead code? It's important to not forget it, because first, it doesn't reflect the current state of your project. And it's really important to keep this in mind, because there is some classes or something that are dead, but it's here, but it doesn't mean now anything on your project. So if it's a business logic class, it's dead, so it's not a valid business rule anymore, right? Or yeah. And it has a bad impact on the velocity of your team when it's about working on a daily basis. And why? Because dead code, it increases the size of the code base in the files, so in a single file or in the project. It creates false positive in a search result. I mean, for example, you are looking for something in your search bar, right? And you have some results, and you think that it's used, but it's not. And you are, I'm not looking about class, for example, car, but cat. But you are typing CA, and you have a result for car or cat. But normally, you should have only one result and not two, because the other class is dead. You also augment the risk of using a dead code or use depreciate code, because a dead code is not called anymore, right? And maybe the code inside is buggy because it's not anymore tested in production, but it's here, and you are looking for, oh, this is a dead code. You think it's used, but it's not. Maybe you want to use it, and after you discover that it was dead. You don't know if it's relevant still or not. Maybe you trust on it and you discover afterward that it was dead. So should you still trust on it or not? Maybe not. It increased the compilation in debug, so not in release. In release, all the dead code is stripped by the compilator, but in debug, well, it's compiled. And it increased also the time of indexing files when it's about dead files for Xcode, for still indexing. And also, it had dead infos during your debugging session. So it's stupid to have some properties that appears in the debugger when you are debugging something, and you are, oh, there is this property, but this property is not used, so you should just not care about. And overall, it increased the mental overload. There is more code in a file to care about, and normally this code should disappear. So we don't want the dead code anymore, right? And I'm going to present Periphery now. So Periphery, quickly. It's a tool, and it's a tool we can use on a command line interface, which the goal is to detect the dead code on an iOS project. And to use it, it's pretty simple. Periphery, space scan, and the params, and it will be executed. It will browse all the source code in your project, and at the end, it will tell you what is dead. To install it, it's very simple. Brew install Periphery. Since the version 3, before it was just a 2-line because you have to tap before. Now it's official in the brew core, so you can just brew install Periphery. It works with Swift 6, Swift 6.1, I think now. iOS 18, Xcode 16.3, probably the new one or so. There is a baseline support, so I will make a specific focus on the baseline for the people who don't know what is the baseline, but it's really important because for me, this is when it's usable in production. It exists since a long time, but with the baseline, you will understand why. For me, it's a game changer, so that's why I put a rocket emoji. There is also a danger plugin, so for the people who knows the danger. Okay, so okay, I will talk about danger because it's really important, and it's also a great support for Periphery. There is also an integration with Xcode, but I will tell you that you should not use it. Not because because it's code, but it's because it's not really practical on a daily basis. And Periphery, what you should know, Periphery ignore, and a reason is the comment you have to use when you want to ignore a warning by Periphery. This is something that you should know for Periphery. Once you have integrated, you will only need to use it, and to remove the dead code, of course, when it's not false positive. So integration of Periphery in the 2-dimension. The 2-dimension, as I said, so the first one at the bottom is locally with Git before you push the code, and on top, so the CI with danger. So at the Git-hook level. So this is when you are working on a daily basis locally with Xcode on your machine, right? You are working and you don't know that you are removing some pieces of code and now you have dead code on your project, okay? And you would like to detect it before you are pushing on the Git. So just a reminder, Git-hook. So a Git-hook is a program that is triggered by Git when you are performing a local Git action, a local Git command. For example, when you are check out a project, something is triggered on your machine if you are customize it. When you are committing, when you are pushing, before committing, after committing, before pushing, etc., you can make some action. And this is typically normally when you should, for example, auto-format your code or lint your code to detect if you are leaving some warnings. Xcode, it's before, but the truth is just before you're committing and you push your source code. And this is where I will show you where you should put Periphery first. Okay? And so this is a program written in script shell or anything else that is inside your .git folder /hooks. And what is interesting here for Periphery is the pre-commit Git hooks. This is the one when we are committing. Just before validating the commit, we will launch Periphery, and if it's success, the commit will be created, ready to be pushed. And this is where we will also, as I said, we launch Swift format and Swiftlint, for example. Okay. What we'll also need is a configuration file. It is not obvious to generate it, trust me. So to have the config file, it's not documented. The shape of a config file, we have to generate it by yourself the first time. And how to generate the config file, you have to know the perfect command of what you would like to run. And at the end, you have to add -- verbose. So all the parameters are documented. You have to either by type just periphery scan help or in the documentation of the GitHub repository. And at the end, if you add -- version, it will print in the log, in the middle of the log. I will show you where the snippet of the YAML file you should copy paste and to put in the config file. And after you have your config file. So it looks like this. So here I executed periphery scan and my parameters, and the parameters I executed are this one. For example, I don't want exclude test, also the exclude file, etc. The verbose true, and everything here has been printed. And if you see here, it's written configuration begin, and here configuration end. So I copy pasted this into a YAML file, and this is the config file. Okay, so I copy paste it after in a periphery.yaml file, and this is the content. After at the end, it looks like this, and this is yeah. So just this is an option to say that I don't want the plugin validation. I'm not sure it's really useful, but well, I put it here. Some excluded, some exclusion. The file that I don't want periphery raise warnings. The project, because it starts from here, Xcode Proj or Workspace, it works. The schemes and the skip builds I will tell you later. And verbose is just because I want to keep the config file print on the logs. So what we need also for periphery locally and also on CI side is a baseline file. So what is a baseline? Just a reminder, a baseline is a snapshot of your project of all the warnings you have. Okay, so imagine the first time you inherit from a project which has 10 years old. There is a lot of code, a lot of warnings, a lot of dead codes probably, and you can't say to your team leader, hey, I want to integrate periphery and I detect 1,000 lines of dead code dispatched from everywhere. It will take you a lot of time, and it is not the priority of your team. But what you don't want is to ignore them or to manage them all at once. But you don't want the noise of all the warnings now in your project. You want to start like from scratch by putting, let's say, these warnings under the carpet temporarily. This is the role of the baseline. The baseline will take all the warnings currently in your project. They will put it in a file, which is named the baseline. And starting from now, you have no warnings. But if you edit a single line which was present in your baseline, it will say you have a warnings. And it will be on your duty to fix it. Okay? So this is the purpose of the baseline. It's to like, let's say, okay, no more warnings now. But if you do something, you edit something which was there were a warning here, it will say, oh, you have a new warnings. It was a former one, but it was under the carpet. But now it's present. Okay. So how to generate it? It's very simple. You type periphery scan, write baseline and the path, the name of your baseline. It's just a path, baseline.json, and it will generate a big JSON file with all the warnings present in your project. And after, to apply it, I mean, to say, now I will run Periphery with this baseline. So all these warnings, all the warnings present in the baseline will be muted, okay? Because it will keep in the baseline the number of lines, and I think also the column of the line to say if the warnings, the line of code didn't move, there is no warnings, even if they are present, okay? And you can add it in your config file. So at the end, it looks like this. And you can add it directly in your config file like this. You don't have to put it in the command line parameters. And now the code. What you have to add in your pre-commit. Okay, now we have the config file, and we know how it works. I am typing here. So the first line, so normally here in your pre-commit, this is where you run swiftly, Swift format, etc. And at the end, you add now Periphery. So I launched the scan here. So I am in the pre-commit, which is in the Git, the .git/hooks folder of my project. And I run now with my config file. And at the end, with the -- strict. And -- strict here, it takes the precedence over the config file. And in the config file, I have added strict false. But here, I added to true. And I will explain to you why, because of the CI. So now, locally, I want something very strict. Why? Because I want, if I have warnings, I want to prevent myself to push code, because there are now code smears, right? There are warnings. Periphery detect dead codes. And after to test if it failed or not, or it's just a classic command shell, you just test the output here. And if it's not equal to 0, it means that Periphery has detected dead code, you exit, and you cannot commit. It will prevent you to commit. The file will stay in stage, and you will have normally the logs by Periphery say, I have detect here, line blah, 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 in this file, dead code, okay? And the reason, because of the property not used, only set, or dead class, etc. Okay? So with all of this, now you should not be able to push new dead code locally. But what about if somebody is pushing with no verify? And everything here. So pushing with no verify, it skips the verification of the local verification of Git. Something that you should not use, but it's possible. So that's why we cannot trust ourselves, and we will jump to the second dimension on CI, because the CI, we cannot violate it like this. So on CI side, to prevent the people to use the no verify on pre-commit level, we can also install Periphery, okay? Use Danger. So Danger is a tool. The purpose of the tool is it's the last step you should launch on your CI, and it will grab all the outputs of all the different steps, like the unit test, the linters, etc., or something else. And of the output, like the results, the unit test report, etc., he is able to grab it and to gather it and to display directly on your pull request to avoid to have a look into your CI logs and to have something human readable, okay? And so the purpose of installing and using Periphery on CI side is to avoid to have a look into the CI logs, but to have the warnings directly on your pull request on the line on the code you have pushed, and it's visible as a comment automatically by Danger on your pull request on your code. I will show you a screen afterward. So this is the purpose. So there is a plugin. So this is the job of Danger, and after you can add different plugin. And Danger Periphery is a plugin to integrate Danger and Periphery on your pull request. And the end, in the config file, I add strict false voluntary because this time I will not launch Periphery with strict, but only with true but false, because I don't want the Periphery command fail if it find the warnings. I want it succeed, but the warnings will be generated as output, and I will give it to Danger, and Danger will tell me, hey, I saw the Periphery fail in your pull request at this file, and for the review, for the owner of the pull request, this is the line where I detected this code, and after you can fix it. So in the Danger file, so you will see if you use Danger, you have to write a Danger file, and this is how we can set up just the plugin, the Periphery plugin. Just set the warnings as error like this. You will not be able to merge your pull request if I found warnings, okay? And just the scan command with the config file, and that's okay. And so on your pull request, so this is it will look like this. So for example, you have a comment here, automatically post that said that this property is in use because it was just here, but not used, not a get. So it's a dead property. So in the pull request, this is a screenshot of a pull request. You have we have a comment now to say we have a dead code. You have to fix it, and if you add warnings as error, you will not be able to merge until you push again to fix. So the pros of Periphery, of course, with this setup, you will have no more dead code pushed, and the amount of the legacy dead code will decrease slowly by slowly because of the baseline. Since, okay, you have put everything under the carpet, but each time you will work on legacy code, it will raise as the new warnings, and you will have to fix it. Or if you, of the strategy of the team, you can still put it in the baseline by refreshing it, regenerating it. But you should not do it because the purpose is to reduce it. So with this integration local and CI, for me, this is the best setup to be sure that you will not forget anymore that code. And of course, with the baseline system, it's ideal for legacy projects because you can, as I said, and I can imagine on big applications like I don't know, YouTube, Gmail, probably, or even operating system source code. There is an amount of code, probably a lot of dead code, and with this tool, you are sure that you will not push dead code anymore. But Periphery, I don't know if you are aware, but it has a reputation of being slow. And it's a bit true. Why? Because it brews and compile all the source code of the project locally, and during you are committing, this is not exactly what you have to you are dreaming, because you will have to wait. So concretely, it slows your development flow, and this is something that you have to take in account. I will not lie on you. Before using Periphery on the pre-commit level, my commit is 2-3 seconds, swiftly, swift format, quickly, some checks, all the checks I have, but few seconds, to be honest. With Periphery, it's almost more than 1 minute. So during 1 minute, I am committing and I am waiting that periphery finish. And this is something that you have to know because, and before the version 3 and version 2 dot, I don't remember which one, it was double of time. It was for the 150 lines of code project, which is the project I'm working on. It was about 3 minutes. Now it's 1 minute. So it's made a lot of improvement, but it's 1 minute. So this is something that you have to integrate in your development flow. It will slow your development flow. It's also a new dependency you have to care about. Okay, even if it's on your local stack, you have to install Periphery. On CI side, you have to install Danger Periphery in addition to Periphery. So Danger if you don't have. If you don't have, you can also use a Periphery on CI side without Danger. It's better with Danger, but you can also just run Periphery and quit if there is some warnings and you have to browse into your CI logs. This is not the way I use it, but you can, and it works. Also, something that I didn't speak about, and it's written on documentation, sometimes that's false positive. You can say that you have an in-use and port, but it's not the truth. So you will have to ignore / add it in your baseline. But this is something that exists, and it can detect there are some patterns that which detects some code is dead, but it's not the case. And you will have to add the comment periphery ignore to ignore it. What I don't like is the idea to use verbose to generate the config file. Honestly, it should be documented just roughly with a sample template or like this, but okay. And there is not a lot of resource also. It's something really technical. When I dig inside to know how to set up better, etc., there is not a lot of documentation. Now there is my Medium also to fix this, to add my stone to the building. But yeah, there is not a lot of resource. So I would like to share you some tips and advice if you want to integrate it, because I advise you to do it honestly. The first one is on the pre-commit level. Do not run the linters if your real source code doesn't change. It could be obvious, but we have to say it. I mean, when you are committing, please use just if there is no .swift file change, unchanged, removed, etc. Do not run the linters. It's just a waste of time. If you just change a config file, it's okay. Okay, do not run it. It just like this, your commit, it will be fast, just 1 second. The second one is run Periphery as the last step of your in your pre-commit. So Swift format first, Swift lint second, etc. And at the end, Periphery. This is the longest. So just do it at the end. And use also terminal notifier. Terminal notifier is a tool which allow you to send you a notification in your terminal. So how I use it, because I'm not staying in front of my terminal when I am committing, I am doing something else, and I'm waiting that terminal notifier said to me, there is a failure, or if it's okay, I can push. Okay, and it's like this, I can do something else, and I will have a beep to say it's finished. After, yeah, something also very useful, you can also git commit and git push in a single command like this. You don't have to wait until your commit is finished to push. Just do it in a single command. In your Danger file, the same. You should just run the code of your plugin just before by checking if there is no .swift present in your stage file. Like this, you also save a lot amount of time. And there is also another thing you have you can use is you can skip the run of Periphery on CI if you are launching Periphery after your unit test step. I mean, you can save 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes on CI with that. So, but you have to customize by giving the path of your derived data, the index folder where there is all the already indexed file like this. Periphery will directly go here. It will not run by itself, and it's 5-10 seconds of scanning, and the job is done. Another thing that I can say to you is do not use the Xcode integration. Why? It's not because of the problem of Xcode. It's just because you will never execute it. The way it's documented and the way you could use it, you will forget to launch it. You have to create a specific target because you will not use Periphery when you are compiling. Trust me, this is something that you will not wait 1 minute just an addition to compile. Do not do that. But if you create a separate target, you will have to wait, and you will not do it, and it's not in your development flow. Unless it's something mandatory in your development flow, you will forget to do it. So it's useless. Do not use it. You will see it's not practical. And the last advice I can say to you is use the baseline, of course. Do not refresh the baseline automatically all the time. This is not the purpose of the baseline. The purpose of the baseline is to be reduced at the end to disappear. That means all the legacy warnings disappear. It's only for false positives, import, etc. And do not also use Periphery ignore to ignore. But also do not use it when you don't. It's not the time to remove that code. Okay, even you agree with your team, do it, or just do it, remove it. Just not ignore all the time. This is not the purpose of the warnings and the baseline. And that's it. Do it.
On attend juste pour une question. Ouais.
Does it work with other languages and especially Objective-C?
Good question. I don't know. I don't know. I discovered this a few years ago, but no, I don't know. So the question was, does it exist with Objective-C? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I am not sure. To be honest, I don't know. Good question. I don't know.
Dernier rapide.
So you expressed concern about the time that it takes as the lead dev for a team. What's worth the time for this kind of dead code check?
For me, it's mandatory. It's mandatory because you will use it was not as how could I say too long to be not done, and only on CI side we still pushing dead code, waiting for 20 minutes to have the warnings result. So it was too long because it just created back and forth with the CI. So we decide to accept this minute more to integrate on locally. And after we create a shortcut with git commit, git push. And like this, once the pull request is already open, we do not care it's 1 minute or two. It's just on background.
1 minute on top of how long?
1 minute?
On top of how long you had already? Total?
Few seconds.
Few seconds in a minute.
The commit, it's just
for your build.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Quickly.
So my question, does it work with only with iOS applications or with SDK frameworks as well? Because I am not sure if it can actually detect the dead code. If you have like a library with a bunch of classes you just want to provide, will it work for this use case?
Yeah, I think it's work only with Xcode, so iOS project, because we have to give a Xcode Proj or Xcode Workspace, something really dedicated for Xcode. No. So I don't think it's working with for example, a Swiss server side or etc. Honestly, it depends if you have I'm not sure. It's really branded for iOS in the documentation, so I would say I don't think so.
I
But-
mean, it can be iOS library, like, or you have some maybe package in your code, like submodule or like a Swift package you use inside your app, will be able to detect.
I think it's working, this. We have SPM also locally, and I think it works for SPM inside an iOS project.
Okay. Thank you.